It's Thursday morning, and it's time for Tech for Seniors Live, where technology gets its deserved deep dive. This isn't happening via Zoom, so we can't see who's joining the show. So please sign in to the chat box below as we gather around the screen, both far and wide, with curiosity as our ever-trusty guide. We'll navigate the digital seas, a knowledgeable crew, exploring all the tech tips, both old and new. No need for cameras, no need for dress. Just bring your questions and we'll address. From gadgets to apps and all the tech lore, we're here to help, to teach, and much more. So type away in the chat. Don't be shy. Our tech-savvy hosts are here to reply. It's Thursday morning. Let the tech talk flow at the Tech for Seniors Live, the best tech show.
Good morning. Windows 10. I love it. I'm not going to Windows 11. Not me. Well, there's an article this week that explains people that share my feelings. Now, I'm going to put my neck on the chopping block this morning, and I'm going to get creamed by our panel. But I'm doing this for your benefit. And so we'll talk soon about that. Also, I went to buy a new TV this week. No cable connection. What's going on with televisions and devices? Both these topics have good articles we're going to talk about today. I'm Ron Brown. This is Tech for Senior Live. We've got a feisty group here today ready for fire. They're all excited, and they're going to cut my head off talking about this topic. But anyway, we're going to talk about we can talk about these topics and all the tech news of the week. So lots coming up in this next hour that we're here. So we do appreciate you being here. Just remember, we are a bunch of crazy seniors from our Monday show. Drop by this Monday. This Monday is exciting because it is, Hewie, what is Monday? Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Let me think. It's the beginning of our 6th year.
Yes, it's season 6. It is season 6, and we're starting a new show this for the year. So please drop by and see us. But remember, it's a Zoom meeting, not a StreamYard meeting. Today we're in StreamYard, which means we are, of course, broadcasting to Facebook. If you want to watch us, you can go over to Facebook. We're also on YouTube. We broadcast to our YouTube channel. And Instagram. We are actually on Instagram, and it's under Tech for Senior Info. So if you're looking there, if you want to find us, it's called Tech for Senior Info, and we are broadcasting out to Instagram. So yes, so we're all over the place. So listen, the problem is we can't see you. It's not a Zoom meeting. So if you're out there listening, put your name in the chat. If you have any questions, comments, or any topics you wanted to talk about. Please put them in the chat, and we'd be most happy to bring them up. Now, last week we had a great time. I don't know if you remember last week, but we got a comment in the chat, and there was a young fellow there that said, "I'm only 19 years old. Can I watch the show?" I said, I don't think we're only talking technology. We're not talking about any senior stuff. So, hey, we talk about technology on the show. So let me introduce everybody. Today, of course, we have Hewie Poplock in his new background there. You're looking dapper there. Well done, Hewie.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Spent last evening in Sun City Center, Florida, and did a presentation on AI. Had a great group, probably about 100 people or so.
Really?
And yeah, they're only about 20 miles from me. So
cool.
It was a quick up and back, and enjoyed it. And that's about the fourth presentation I've done to that group.
And of course, your WinSig was last Sunday as well.
Yes. Yep.
And that worked out well.
Been a busy week.
It has, yeah. And you haven't been feeling that well, so hopefully you're over your cold and.
It still lingers somewhat, but yeah, I'm pretty much. I feel better.
Feel better, good. Okay, and of course, Bob, you're doing well, and they're planting trees out in your yard today.
No, they just dug the holes. The planting will happen tomorrow.
Oh,
I still have to go and put water in those holes and make sure the drippers are working properly.
What type of trees
the holes were dug? Yeah, and they're pretty large trees, not the kind I can afford to buy.
What type of trees are they?
I don't remember. I picked them out about 3 months ago.
Okay.
So now is the time for them to plant. They're the ones who picked the time, and this is all free. So fabulous.
I remember
the same outfit planted 89 trees up at our park here in Meadow Lake. So, and this is just a continuation of that. Now it's done for the community.
So I remember a good story was back when I was a little kid, when we were in grades 4 or 5 in elementary school. Part of the beautification of the city I lived in was they gave you a tree to take home and plant in your front yard, right? And the trees that they gave out for 2 or 3 years were Douglas fir, right? And they grow up to be like 100 feet tall and 30 feet wide. And as life went on in that area of the city that they planted these, the trees soon consumed the whole front yard. They then consumed part of the house, and they ultimately had to all be chopped down. If you go back, there's still 1 or 2 lots around in the city in Edmonton that still have some of these Douglas, and they're up 300 feet. Like they grow forever. So it was quite interesting. Speaking of trees, a man who is in the trees, who has elk as his neighbor. Actually, you have elk as a lawnmower, right? Right?
They take care of the property.
On a lawnmower because the elk just keeps the grass.
Yeah,
you're back to nature guy.
Yeah, talking about trees. So when I moved here about 20 years ago, that was at the height of what we call the bark beetle infestation.
Oh yeah,
and these were beetles that would go into the pine trees here that we have and kill them. And once they got in, and they so when the property, I have about a half an acre, and it was at least 20 trees had to be taken down before I moved in. And the previous owner paid for it all, but even with 20 trees taken down, I still have plenty of trees on the property. Not to worry.
All right, there you go. Hewie, anyone listening to the show?
Let's take a look.
Mike Lehman. Mike Lehman, of course, is our new medical director, or not medical director. Music director. Oh boy, this is gonna be a hard day.
Hey, you gotta call him Dr. Mike.
Yeah, Dr. Mike. Mike, of course, is our new music director, and will be showing off his works on Monday. He's got. I know what song it's going to be. My lips are sealed. I can't say what, but it's all done and it's ready to go for a Monday show. Welcome, welcome, Mike. And Mike's going to participate on this show probably next week. So you'll be able to see Mike, and he'll be around. Be able to talk to us and so on and so forth. So anyway, -7 in my. Oh, geez, it's cold there. Right. Bernard, Sterling Heights Computer Club in Detroit, Michigan, 25 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, that's cold too. Dick Vogel, we're having another beautiful day in how come Floridians are always boasting about the weather?
Because we have good weather.
Mike Ungerman, thank you, Mike, for sending some good articles today. about for presentation. We do appreciate if you are out there. Send us some articles for posting. We post articles every day to our Facebook page, and Mike was kind enough to send some articles this way. And Mike, just on your behalf today, there's a couple of Linux articles I posted this morning. Just I wanted to keep you happy, and so they're Linux articles. Mike gave a great talk. I guess it was the WinSig on Linux installation. Yep. Is that right? Yeah.
Well, it was after the WinSig meeting. It was the CFCS meeting right after.
Yes, yeah. Examine the topic of what to do about Windows 10 last weekend. It's archived on our YouTube's video site, right? Jim Talman back in Venice after 2-week glamping with friends in Central Florida. Liz Milford, hi from Ohio. Jeff Glassman, greetings from Long Beach, California. Rainy 51 degrees Fahrenheit. Albert, Cindy, Green Valley, Arizona. I think that meant windy, right?
I think Cindy is using Albert's name.
I see. Okay.
To sign on. She doesn't know how to change the name.
Okay. All right. Okay. Excellent. Well, let's move on and get into the articles now. So I'm going to play the role here but I am a Windows 10 user. I have all my this broadcast here and everything is all being run off my big system here. And I am Windows 10. All right. So when I read this article, I had some thought to it, but I do have a couple of computers that have Windows 11 on. So, I am truly a convert. I just haven't converted this system yet. But a lot of these are my feelings. So I wanted to share my feelings. This is an article that came out, and I think it applies to a lot of people because they haven't switched yet, why I'm still using Windows 10 in 2025. So we're going to go through, and I've got 8 points here. You guys shoot me down, beat me up. I'm a nice guy. Don't hurt my feelings, and don't say anything nasty. Now you can't say. But we want to go through the 8 points so that people can learn what maybe is true and what isn't true. All right. Now the first one is really this is restriction from IT department, which isn't something that we're going to talk about. All right. That's not in our purview. But compatibility with software and hardware. This app can't run on your PC. There is, of course, a worry that some form of program that you're going to run won't run on Windows 11. What do you guys think? Is that true or not?
I have some pretty old stuff and it runs just fine on Windows 11. Besides that, there is a compatibility mode that emulates all the way back to Windows 3.1. And if your software still doesn't run, are you still getting updates? I bet you that program is probably so outdated that who knows what kind of security worries you should attach to that software.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm running some programs from 2007 without a problem.
So I haven't honestly heard of a lot of. I don't know any programs that I use or have heard of that won't run on Windows 11. I don't think there are any.
I can recall when Windows 11 came out that they said a program is running on Windows 10, it'll run on Windows 11.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. No major benefits in upgrading.
Security updates, definitely.
Yeah. Okay,
absolutely.
Good one. Security is more secure. The other thing that was pointed out to me about a month ago when we were discussing this again was that it runs faster and it's better. Like it can take your existing machine, which I think is a really big feature, and why you should upgrade now is because it's going to actually make your machine run faster on existing hardware, right? Okay, so let's see. No interest in Copilot and extra features. So I'm not that interested in Copilot and so do I really want to upgrade if that's all I'm going to get? Well,
that doesn't matter. You don't have to use Copilot. Yeah, that's a choice.
That's right. Plus,
because you could also use it on Windows 10.
Yeah, you can use Copilot on Windows. So that's a non-issue. Okay.
And I guarantee in 6 months they will be using Copilot.
Okay. All right. You guys are being easy on me now. So thank you for not being nasty and, and beating me up too much. Windows 10 is reliable and well tested. So what the heck?
Yeah,
I mean, I know this works. It's steady, tried, true, and tested. You know,
there's lots of vulnerabilities and security reasons that you shouldn't be using 10. You should go to 11.
Okay. And it's stable. Windows 11 is stable.
It's as stable as the horses will allow it to be.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Avoiding hardware upgrade requirements. What's this TPM thing? What's going on with that? What if my hardware won't let me upgrade?
And then it's time you've had that computer a long time and you got your money's worth out of it. It's time to think about another computer, or maybe switch to Linux or buy a Chromebook or another PC.
Okay.
I've told this story many times, but it was Microsoft that upgraded my Windows 10 computer that doesn't have the required chips. And it's been working on Windows 11, the latest build. I don't know how many years now. Okay. So,
and I've got one that's been upgraded to Windows 11, but it's stuck at 22H2 and it's actually stopped updating.
Okay.
Well, mine still updates.
Now
I'm on 24H2 and then some builds up from there.
So one thing that everyone should understand is in Windows 10, there's a compatibility. When you go to system upgrade and there's a little menu you can run that will check the compatibility of it and tell you if your machine will accept the upgrade or not. Right. And so if it doesn't, and it doesn't have the chip, you're right. You gotta move on. Okay. Comfortable with familiar interface. Hey, I know how this works. I know how Windows 10 works. I don't want to learn something new. Like, is Windows 11 that much different?
I think that's such a poor excuse. This gentleman, I looked up his age, not his age, but how long he's been writing. He was around when it was Windows 8.1, and he was able to understand Windows 10. If there was any change that was dramatic in Windows over the years, it was going from 8.1 to 10. And he had no problem with it. Going from 10 to 11 is even easier. So that's a poor excuse.
Poor excuse. Well,
my wife has had compatibility issues. I've learned to adapt. We're still married. It's a lot easier that way than Windows 11.
Piece of cake.
Yeah. I think now I have. There's a Windows 11 computer sitting right beside me here, and I have the two running, together. I don't think I notice any difference. In fact, I can never remember which one's going. It's all the same to me.
Some of the things are in different places, but they're all the same.
That's right. Okay. And then the last one was support is still available. Hell, why should I switch?
That part I think I agree with a little bit. If you can wait, because I think the prices of Windows 11 computers as we get towards October are going to come way down, particularly those that don't have the built-in neural chip that are AI compatible. Most people can use AI like we're using it today online, and it's just fine. So I think waiting for that reason to get a better price is good.
Okay. Well, so that may be something, but just to remind everyone that as of October 15th, then the support for Windows 10, unless you're going to pay $30 for the year, you can pay $30 and get support for another year, is going to end, right? And why do we need support? Why do we need support, you guys?
Security
updates.
Okay.
Yeah, and one thing we need to emphasize that your computer won't stop working, it just won't update.
Right.
It's like having an antivirus that gives you 60 days, and at the end of 60 days, it doesn't disappear. It just doesn't protect you anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll mention quickly that Carol has a desktop and a laptop that don't qualify for Windows 11, but they're both high-end, expensive computers, and she uses programs like Adobe InDesign and others that require that. So she's going to pay the $30 for each computer, and we'll see where we are at the end of 2026.
Yeah, and it is $30 per computer, right, Ray?
Right.
It's $30 per
Yes,
computer.
correct.
Right? Okay. All right, good. Okay, well, that's all I want. So thank you guys for not picking on me too much. I mean, I thought this was a good art. I thought this was a good article to talk about because there's still 70% of the people need to convert over to Windows. A lot of people doing it now. So if you are out there and you are thinking about it, those are, hey, it's not bad. It's easy to do, and I recommend going ahead with that.
Procrastinate. Why hurry if I could wait?
Well, that's like me. That's exactly my thoughts, Bob. Windows 10 just runs, and it's just another hassle I don't want to have to do, but it probably isn't going to be that much of a hassle. Okay, let's talk about TVs. This was an article that came out just a minute here. Where was it? This came out this week. Your smart TV can replace these 5 gadgets. So I thought we'll talk a little bit about TVs. There's a couple of things that you should be aware of, and then we'll get on with looking at the articles. The first one was streaming devices. So and we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute, but most of these TVs now have streaming devices built in, like Google TV or Roku, or they have them all built. Amazon has theirs built in, so they allows you streaming, so you don't need further added devices that you have to buy, right? And I think that's obvious. Does anyone have any comment on that? That's
well, the one thing I learned that with the newest TVs, one remote control will cover both cable channels and streaming channels.
Yes.
The TV I bought about, I guess it's 4 years ago now, it came with 2 remotes, and because that's what was required. So the idea of just one remote in our house, where we probably have 7 of them on the coffee table,
right?
It's
good idea.
A welcome change.
Welcome change.
Mine goes one step further, but I guess we'll get to it. I don't use the remote as far as actually changing stuff. I don't use the remote that way.
Right. Digital photo frames. As you know, most of the TVs now, that one I just showed you there is a specific TV with a dedicated digital frame. But most of the TVs now have an option to run ongoing pictures, and you can change how often you want them. Most of them are even linked into Google Photos, and they can, you can have your pictures coming up and so on and so forth on your TV. So that's sort of cool. The other one was we don't do a lot of gaming. Our group doesn't do a lot of gaming, but sometimes for casual users, gaming consoles they can use those even on a remote. There was sound bars. Now this is interesting. We have in our bedroom, we have a fairly nice 65-inch TV we bought a couple of years ago, and the speakers are pretty darn good in it. And they were talking about I know that Ray's a sound buff in that it's you're really into it, but some of the TVs now, the higher end TVs that are delivering, actually have some fairly good sound in there, and that you actually don't need a sound bar depending on your idea of some of the. I remember 6 or 7 years, maybe 10 years ago, when you got a TV, the sound was bad. Like it was really
they had very cheap sound speakers in it, and it was actually in the back, and it hit the wall and then bounced forward, and it wasn't coming out. And I also found that because I'm slightly hard of hearing, I turn the volume up quite a bit. I think I've blown the speakers because I don't get a clear sound.
I know. So anyway,
I have to go to the store and listen to those tiny little speakers and see if they can compete with the sound bar. I doubt it, but I'm willing to do that. But it certainly isn't going to compete with my 7.1 speaker setup system.
No, I understand that. That's for sure. Granted that it's not going to have that, but it's not like you have to replace every single bite and buy a TV. If it sounds okay and you're happy with it, okay, and it's most likely you're going to be more happy than you were 10 years ago. And of course, the last one was Blu-ray players with the 4K. With most of this stuff being on 4K now, I know, Ray, you have a lot of Blu-ray, and the things that you've done with it is you've talked a lot about that. But for a lot of people now, it's just all 4K streaming, right? So it's is there relevance to that? And you've obviously done that. So that's a big topic to discuss. But
is it true that they named the Blu-rays after Ray?
Of course.
The point on the Blu-ray, though, is a Blu-ray disc gives you so much more than just the movie. So if you're really into that kind of media. You want to see what the directors say. You want to see what the interviews they have with the stars in the movie. So Blu-ray. Now the problem with Blu-ray is a small Blu-ray disc is about 30 gigabytes. So you have a lot of these. All of a sudden, it's filling up your storage capacity. So I've been kind of careful about which ones I've converted.
Okay. All right, Hewie, just before we get on to the news articles, any other comments that we have?
Yeah, let's see. This was, it said Cindy before, but it is Albert Green
Valley, Arizona, right? Betty Sheets, 70 degrees in Clearwater, Florida. Hi, Betty. Mike Ungerman, streaming to a TV from a computer,
Smart
tablet,
TV.
or phone could be a good topic for Mondays. Yeah, that's a good one. Yep, absolutely, Mike. Yep, I was thinking about that this morning when we were talking about that. That's a good one. I kept our PlayStation 3 since it can play Blu-ray discs. Excellent.
We're caught up.
Okay, Hewie, let's get on with the articles. If you could pop them up there, we'll get going.
Okay.
Or do you want me to do it? I can add that.
No. I got it all set. I'm not sure if anybody's updated. But the first one's from Bob on new in Gmail. Add to calendar.
Yeah, that's a new feature. I got an early invitation, and I created a video to show off what that feature will be able to do once you have access to it. And it makes it real easy when you get an email that has any kind of appointment in it. It intuitively through AI knows, hey, this should set up a reminder. Do you want to add it to your calendar?
That was a good one, Bob. Is that available now? I was looking on mine. I didn't have it yet. Is it?
No, it's not available to everyone. I got early access, and my email says we are granting you early access to this feature. And I said, that's nice. So I ought to be able to make a video about it. And that's what this is a video on a new feature. If you got early access, you might have it. If you don't, it is coming. This is not something that you're going to have to wait a long time. It will wind up being available in the near future.
Excellent. Now, just to let everyone know, I know that it's difficult to see the screens a lot because it's narrowed down, but all these articles are on our Facebook page. Just pop over to Facebook and you can see the articles as we scroll through them. And I put the link there. Just type Tech for Senior in Facebook and you'll find us there. So that should be fairly easy for
Bob, the next one is also you.
Ditch the drama. Grab a pixel. I did a little video to show off why you might be smart to pick a Pixel for your next phone. I'm looking for a replacement for my Pixel 6. I really don't want to leave Pixel because it has some excellent advantages because it is native Google.
And this is yours also, Bob.
Robots Unleashed. Meet the machine changing the way we work, live, and play.
And Ron, this is you.
Yeah, this was an article about that one. Okay. Blue Origin has now taken more than 50 people up. Are we going to go on? Is the Tech for Senior? Or maybe that should be our season 6. We'll go for a little space ride.
Are you footing the bill?
Yeah. What does that cost, Ron? How much?
Priceless. It's you guys are you guys are priceless. There's no cost. Don't worry about the cost.
All right, I'm going to hold you to that.
Okay, this I posted this morning. It wasn't an article per se. It was an email I got, but my ISP is offering to boost your Wi-Fi connection. Pay $0 for the first 3 months, and they call it whole home Wi-Fi. And then it's only $10 a month afterwards. You get 2 additional Wi-Fi devices to add to your current router to boost your signal and virtually eliminate dead spots. So why upgrade? There's no drop-offs or buffering, and it's the Eero devices that they send you, and they work together to optimize Wi-Fi coverage for all of your devices. Easy setup. They send an installation kit straight to your doorstep with step-by-step instructions. And that's basically what they're saying is it's going to only cost you $10 a month with their hardware and it's the Eero Wi-Fi. Now, I'm not big enough. My house isn't big enough for me to do it. But if you got a big house and you've got dead spots in the house, for $10 a month, it can add to what you've got. So
yeah, I mean that's basically mesh coverage.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
The fact that it's only $10 a month. Well, it depends how many years you use it. That's as opposed to buying it and having it in your house. But sometimes those mesh units go for as much as a couple of $100 if you have a big house.
And the next one was me also. Microsoft's Copilot AI will no longer help pirate Windows 11. Apparently, you could ask Copilot how to turn your Windows 10 machine into a Windows 11 if it wasn't capable of it. And it's Microsoft's got it, so it won't give you the answer anymore.
Just wait for Microsoft.
But do they still have that posted online?
No, I think they took that down too. But of course, once it's on the web, it's there, and a lot of people have posted it. And this one is farther down in these. Ron posted about the Mac Mini base model, the M4, and how much it'll do, and it was $100. And I says, "Holy cow! I'm going to buy one of those." And then I realized it's a base add-on to the Mac Mini. It's not a Mac Mini. And but this article tells you how it adds to it or whether it doesn't. And so when you see it later on, where it's talking about it, that's what this article will
the Mac Mini, to that. The Mac Mini is really good option for people. It's a small, you can put it in the palm of your hand, plug everything into it, and it comes with all the Mac software on it. So it's a really good option. I really like that product. I think it's
it does start as low as $600.
Yeah, I know.
So with this added hub, it would be $700, and you've got an M4 machine. Yeah. Now, with some of the articles I'm reading about it, sometimes you have to. It works quite fast if it's the only thing running. So it's not like a powerful Mac. It's less than that if you get the base model. And this one, what is vibe coding? And I hadn't heard of that, so I thought I'd post this. It's a new approach. It's a way of creating coding to make apps, and it's specialized. It's very easy. You don't have to know coding to do it. It does the coding for you. And this is something brand new, and you're going to hear the term vibe coding and read the article so you'll have an understanding when people start talking about it. And then this one, T-Mobile is looking for Starlink satellite to sell beta testers. So if you want to beta test the Starlink to your phone with T-Mobile, there's apparently some hardware specifics or specifications that you'll need in your phone to be part of this program. But the article talks about it.
Hewie, I just want to go back. We talked a little bit about this. I just want to clarify this because this is often confusing for people. When we talk about what this, in fact, I posted an article that we're going to talk about in a few minutes that T-Mobile is going to give you 1 year of satellite to satellite to sell coverage if you sign up with their program. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But let me just tell about, there's two issues that you have to understand. There's the first issue is if you want your phone to connect with satellite, there's very few ones that do it. You need a specific modem. And right now, the only phones really that will do a satellite coverage is the Pixel 9 and the iPhones. And they actually have, and also the new S25 Samsung. And they actually have the modem in there that will connect to a satellite. All right. This is not what we're talking about. What this is think of the satellite in the sky as being a cell tower. This is where T-Mobile is partnered with Starlink, and they've created think of them as cellular towers in the sky, and they're broadcasting back down through low orbit. They're broadcasting not 5G, but a 4G signal. So any phone that is capable of receiving 4G will be able to access this service, right? And that's what makes it so unique and such a great service, is because for all those areas of coverage that you don't have, because you don't have land-based cell towers, you're going to have cell towers in the sky. So this is a good system, and we'll talk a little bit more about it.
I signed up to be a beta tester. They haven't contacted me.
Okay. All right. So anyway, Ray.
All right.
I can't think of any reason why anyone that was smart enough to buy a Chromebook would be dumb enough to run Windows on it. All right. I'm going to leave it at that.
Well, once again, this is, we just talked about it with the Windows 10 security updates ending on the horizon. Google once again is making a case for Flex. Flex is its Chrome operating system, but this time it's directed at IT administrators and their users to look at using Chrome OS as a viable way to continue to run Microsoft 365 programs like Word, Excel, PowerPoint. But previously, Google made the point that this Chrome operating system is perfect for the folks that use their computer just for checking the web, they're looking at email, etc., things like, basic things like that. Time will tell if this approach will catch on. I don't think it will.
Yeah, Flex doesn't allow you to add Android apps to the system like the Chromebooks do. But what it will do is it'll let you go out to the web, and so you're able to use the Microsoft Office products online without any problem.
What people don't understand about Flex is Flex is a commercial product, and it's made for IT administrators that can take hundreds of old Windows 10 PCs in schools and convert them over, like Ray said, to running Chrome OS, and then they can link it in, and that's a viable option. But a single license is not supported, and if anyone that's tried to actually download it and do it, it's not that easy, and there's no support, so it doesn't work that well. So just remember that.
Again, that's why this was directed.
I did switch one of my computers over to Flex, and I was able to get to the internet and run. Yeah. So you can do it with Flex without a problem. Okay, let's see what's next here. This should still be Ray.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the new Intel CEO. The chip maker Intel has appointed. His name is Lip Bu Tan as a CEO to turn around the struggling chip maker. Now, Tan was previously the CEO of a company called Cadence Design Systems, but he's now the fourth permanent CEO at Intel in the last 7 years. That must be some kind of record. This news, however, had the stock jump 12%. So I still believe Intel will make a comeback, but not to the preeminent level that they once enjoyed.
And Ray?
All right. So how much of the $10 billion Spotify paid to the music industry actually reaches the artists? And this is a good article. This is such a confusing and complicated subject about how the money gets paid out. Most of the artists today, singing artists, are doing a lot of concerts as opposed to releasing new material because they make more money at concerts than they do these days. But it's an interesting article. Kind of remember, Spotify is the largest streaming service. They're based in Sweden. And they said that nearly 1,500 artists earned over $1 million each in royalties. However, the article further points out that only a fraction of this $10 billion Spotify paid out ends up in the pockets of those who create the music. Again, as I said, a complicated arrangement, a worthy article to read.
Is it any different on YouTube and YouTube creators? Just something thought.
Yeah, I don't know. I said it's
different organization,
complicated.
Bob.
Okay. This is YouTube, right?
Yeah, coding. Interesting. We talked about coding a moment ago, and this is the article quotes that AI will soon be writing 90% of code in about 6 months. So it's a major concern for society and in general with how AI is going to be, how many jobs will be taken away. So this is the Anthropic CEO. His name is Dario Amodei. And he says AI will be writing 90% of code in 6 months, automating software development within a year. This echoes comments made by other senior technology officials. So I'd like to think there will always be new job opportunities for everyone that wants to be employed. And who knows, maybe the future is going to be a 30-hour work week.
And there's another article about the work week coming up as well. But one of the things I tried this past week using one of the chatbots is I told it, take this information, and it was a couple of paragraphs, and change it to HTML. And it did. And then I just ran it in the browser, and bingo, I had an HTML page. So I didn't have to write any code. It automatically did it. Well, Word's been doing this for years. You can save a Word document to HTML, and what it didn't do was allow me to put pictures in. So it does it, but I don't know if that's possible or not. But it's getting more and more where you can do the coding automatically using AI.
Now is not the time to be a senior at a Ivy League institution with computer science as your major.
Yeah, not as a coder anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the article that came out this morning. You can get 1 year of free cellular Starlink if you switch to T-Mobile right now. There you go. I thought that's pretty darn cool.
Is that only for people that switch, or what about those that already have T-Mobile?
I got a feeling it's just if you switch. I don't.
Yeah.
This was an article for those of you who you still use Chromecasts. There was a big deal this week where your Chromecast wouldn't work. There were all sorts of problems with it. This is a known problem with Google. The thing that it said that it's so important to do, if you've had trouble with your Chromecast this week, don't reset it. Don't hit the reset button or it could brick it. Now, I said that about a year ago on this show, and someone put in the comments, what does bricking mean? remember that? They didn't know what it means. It's a brick. It's not going to work. So don't, they're going to fix it. Google said they know the problem. It's been all over the news this week, and they're going to fix it. But in the meantime, don't hit the reset button on your Chromecast.
Does it affect all of them or just certain?
Some of them.
Okay, because I have not had any problems.
Yeah, it's the older Chromecasts. The other one was came out this morning. If you use Mozilla's Firefox, then you should update it right now. There's a 0-day issue that with it for security, and you need to do that. So if you are using Firefox, just hit the button and update it.
Didn't I read somewhere that Firefox just did a major update and change to the look and feel of it? I think I did.
Could be. This was so I hopefully Mike Ungerman is jumping for joy and is going to be so happy with this. But as we know, Android 16 is coming out this summer, and it looks as though that it may get a built-in Linux terminal in the Android 16, which means there'll be sort of a connectivity between your phone and those Linux users. So this might be a great thing. It's not confirmed yet, but it probably is true because they don't usually publish the articles that if it isn't going to happen. But that's the news that came out this morning.
And several of the articles that we're showing this morning are things that are coming in the future and not available now. This is one of them.
That's one of them. And then this is again, Mike was nice enough to publish some articles this week. So I thought, here's another one from Mike. Android's Linux terminal app is now widely available on Pixels, and here's how to get it. So again, it's a Linux, it connects Linux to your cell phone, and this is the Linux terminal app, and apparently it's available. Now it says it's available on Pixels. I guess it's just pixels. I'm not sure. Pixel phones. Tomorrow will be the release, of course, Android 16 beta. For those of you who are beta testers, and as I said before, we're looking at a probably rollout, I would suspect, in July or August, and that will likely coincide with Pixel 10. And that's what.
And one of the comments is from Richard, and a lot of us don't even have Android 15 yet. They're talking about 16 here, and I'm one of them. I still only have 14. So
yeah.
That's another reason why Pixel is such a good choice, because I have.
But I don't notice a lot of when we went up to 15. I got 15 on my Pixel now. I didn't notice a lot of difference.
I don't notice any different either, but I can brag. I have 6.
Yeah, that's true, Bob.
Very good, Bob. Very good.
Yes. Now this is interesting. iOS 19 coming out. Big change in the what do you call it? In how it's going to look. It's going to be a whole look and feel differently. So if you have an iPhone and there's soon to be some pretty massive changes on the menuing and how it looks. So that's coming in the next.
Now the articles, the headline says rumors. So are you positive that these are going to be?
Yeah. This is. There's lots of articles about that this week. That's a for sure coming.
Still no AI.
It's a for sure. It's a for sure coming.
Still no AI.
Oh, that'll be a while. So I thought I'd leave this up to Bob and Hewie. What's Gamma? Gamma call. This is big news. It was all over this week. Lots of about AI. What is Gamma, you guys?
Don't have a GPU.
And Ron and I do, but it's running it on your local computer.
Right.
So this is AI, right?
That's correct.
Although I'm running AI on my computer without the GPU through the use of LM Studio.
Yeah, I've always my thinking is that the AI for everyday consumers like us is working with it online is fine, but in the business world, you want to have that built into the business person's computer so they can do things much faster and much quicker wherever they are.
But you're going to have to do a lot of research on which one you're going to use, because you don't want to load a lot of these up on your computer, because they do take a lot of space and a lot of horsepower. And so you're going to run one, but if you've got 2 or 3 of them on, now you're filling up a lot of space, and it's going to get confusing.
So the article said a little over a year after releasing 2 open Gemma AI models built from the same technology behind the Gemini AI, Google is updating the family with Gemma 3. And this is going to be able, of course, as you said, run on your local computer. So interesting. Hewie, we're sort of in the last 15 minutes here. Do any other comments before we?
Yep, just a few.
Jeff Glassman, I use Euro and I'm quite happy with it. Lots of features included. Yep. Mike Hungerman, we purchased a mesh network router and 3 satellites. It's downstairs from our present AT&T router, which just bridges to the mesh router inside and outside coverage. Monsignor, yes, Mike in St. Louis checking in a bit late, sunny, 71 degrees in the area. Greetings all. Yes, thank you, Mike, for being here. I saw that you were on our Monday show as well, so thank you for supporting us and coming along and listening to us yak away. So welcome.
Okay.
We're okay with that?
Yep.
Excellent.
This is YouTube, Ron on Sonos.
Yeah. Well, Sonos canceled its streaming video player, which nobody thought was a great idea except Sonos. they've since canceled that. So that just lets you know that's gone.
And you already talked about this.
This is the one that I talked about. Yeah, don't reset it. And this I thought was so cool. This is made by, who makes this? This is made by Satoshi. Yeah, they make a lot of good equipment, and it fits right on the bottom, and it's a hub of your Mac Mini, and it sits right on the bottom. It even matches it. It even matches. I think that looks so cool. So it's made by a company called Satoshi. They make a lot of hubs, and that's if you are considering a Mac Mini, this would definitely be an option for you.
Yeah, you can pre-order them, and they're $100.
Yeah.
The Microsoft just did this was the week they do Patch Tuesday, and they this is an article that tells you all the things that they patched and updated this past week in Microsoft in Windows 10 and 11. Home Depot launches Magic Apron, a generative AI customer guide that each of the people will have, I believe, and I think it's also an app you can have. It'll help you decide which items you need and where they are and so on in the store. So it's just some new software they have to help you decide what you're going to buy.
I use the Home Depot app all the time, and I must say it's hard because they have such a wide variety of products. It's sometimes hard to find what you need. So that would be absolutely a great idea if you can just chat with AI and it's going to tell you what it is. I think it's great.
And McDonald's is going to employ AI at 43,000 locations to speed up service. Technology solutions will alleviate stress. So not only are they going to have AI at the drive-through, but there's going to be a lot of AIs tied to equipment to tell it when it needs servicing and what needs to be done and so on. So they're going to strongly embrace AI in this individual units, in all 43,000 of them.
Does that mean when I order a hamburger, I now will actually get a hamburger, not a cheeseburger?
It depends on how smart the AI is.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit smarter than the people on the other end.
Because invariably when I say a hamburger, they always get asked, do you want cheese?
Yeah. And Google's co-founder, he's not part of Google anymore, but he says the 60 hours per week is in the office is the sweet spot for all workers. And
AI workers.
Yeah, for AI workers, that you really need to get in there and hammer at it at 60 hours instead of 40 hours to make it work. So instead of making it a 30-hour week, he wants to make it a 60-hour week.
So Hewie, I just got to tell you that there was an article last week about people in an Amazon headquarters that were made to go back to work, and there was like 1,200 of them came back to work. They had to come back that day. 1,200 people into their Amazon headquarters building, but there was only parking outside for 400. So they had to all run around and find where to park their cars. Right? They all got in they all got into where there might be offices, but there weren't enough offices for everybody. And there was only terminals for like 300 people. So they had 1,200 people, but only 300 terminals. So what were they doing? They were all using their phones, right? And what were they doing on their phones? They were making Zoom calls to talk to their colleagues that were all over the country, right? And so they sat on the floor in the office, having had problems parking, on a Zoom call, talking to their colleagues all over the country. I thought, okay, that's good use of people's time.
Poor planning.
And 5 reasons you should avoid PC cleaning apps. To use Windows Disk Cleanup instead. So instead of using some of the ones I've even seen advertised on TV, one of the things it says that they can cause more harm than good, and in some cases they're doing things that you don't really need to have or don't do much. For instance, one of the things it says to steer clear of is trying to clean up your registry.
Yep. That's the first thing I always turn off on any cleaning app. Don't touch the registry.
And for those who like to use Discord, 4 best Discord features you might not know existed. So if you're using Discord, Mike Ungerman, we might want to take this article and make sure we get it on the CFCS BBS on Discord. Some features you might not know are there and be able to use them. As long as you're using Discord, use some of the features it has. And boy, I was busy during the night. And then I tried this article, not me. I tried dozens of TeamViewer alternatives and keep coming back to this free open source tool, which is TeamViewer. Microsoft, in their vast amount of knowledge and what we should do and not do, is taking away their remote desktop program, which is a great program. And they're saying you should use something called Windows app. They're all Windows app. And you're supposed to be able to get it from the Play Store, not Play Store, from the
Windows Store.
Microsoft Store.
Yep.
And I have not looked at it yet. I'm not sure what it does. But the article, there was either this article or another article, was saying that that app doesn't have a lot of the features that the one that they're throwing away has. And so TeamViewer might be the answer to go back to if you used to use it.
Hewie, another, just before you go on to the next one, because we might not come to this, and I thought this was an interesting, might not get to that article because it's coming up, but Microsoft Publisher discontinuing it. The end of life, it's going. Now, I guess I haven't used Publisher for 15 years. I guess maybe there's some old, maybe some historic applications that might still be using Publisher, but do you guys ever use Publisher? Do you know?
I do a lot. One thing I use it for is to create and print business cards, and it's got it's really good for that. And occasionally some other sheets that I want to do. It is a publishing program, and since publishing has pretty much gone away, all of the old publishing type programs are gone now, and a lot of things, if you learn how to use it correctly, you can use Word to do a lot of the same things.
Right.
But Publisher is so easy to use. I hate to see it go away.
Anyway, it's
gone. I still have about 5,000 Avast business cards for anybody who wants one cheap.
All right.
And Microsoft will soon phase out this popular. Yeah, that was where the Microsoft Publisher. And Bob, this is you.
This is a podcast for those that don't like to watch videos or don't have the time to do it. If you want to learn all about the Pixel and why you should be getting it, listen to it instead of having to be tied down to whatever you view things on. It's a podcast.
And Bob, this is also you. You created a joke, I guess.
Yeah, there's a daily senior joke. Except when I forget to do it. Then it could be every other day joke.
No, you put in the joke and then tell it to create a cartoon of it.
I have a task that I set up. And it does it. I just tell it to create today's senior joke. And it does everything else on its own. I have done the same thing for it to do a daily up to 5 significant both AI and security events that occurred during the past 24 hours. Now it's up to 5. If there aren't 5, you won't have 5. Some days there is nothing to report, then there won't be anything.
No, but you're using something in AI to
I'm using a task function in Chat GPT, and I created the task, and based on that information is how this is created. One was for AI and one was for security. This is regarding to the Microsoft patches, which you already
mentioned,
covered.
Yeah.
This is a sneaky CAPTCHA. Be careful with CAPTCHAs. And this one here asks you to do something, and you, by following their directions, you're in essence adding malware to your computer because it works through the run command.
And Ron, this is you.
Well, I was happy, Ray, to see that the Intel got a new CEO. This is an article about the different companies looking at purchasing which comes up every week, but they're looking at purchasing parts of Intel. And there's different companies that, because Intel has a lot of parts to the company. So it was just an article looking at purchasing the different parts. I think there's going to be some pretty serious stuff happening with that.
And Bob, this is a new podcast.
Yes.
About robots. And Ron, this is more on Gemma 3.
Talk about that.
Yeah.
And here's your Christmas present, Hewie. Asus introduces monitors with built-in air purifier.
Gosh, I bought an air purifier.
How would you like that for Christmas present?
Does she come with it?
Yeah.
Air purifier. What are they going to think of next, right?
Yeah, I have an air purifier on the floor. So, and Ron, I just talked about that.
Yeah,
and it's time to look and see if there's something else.
Yeah, we got to get. It's top of the hour. We talked about that. Anyway, I think that's it as far as the. There's
more, but we won't get to cover that.
We don't have time.
Let's see.
No, nothing else from.
I use Publisher all the time here at the parish. Would hate to see it disappear. Well, sorry, it is going to, and it's going to disappear. I think it's this year too. It's fairly quickly. Publisher is used by many. Canva is harder for me.
It is for me as well. I keep trying to go through some tutorials on it. It does so many different things. I don't know what's up to date and what isn't. And so I know I can do things in Canva. I just don't know how to do them. I know, Ron, you use it a lot more than I do.
I use it a lot. Yeah. And it's, I guess it's what you trained on. I never used Publisher really. It's a long time ago. I did few things on it, but I just, anyway, it's going soon. And I think it's in the next few months anyway. So, everyone will have to move on. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. That's been a good session. Thank you guys for not beating me up too hard about Windows 10. I do promise in the next couple of months, I am going to switch this main system to Windows 11, but just not before season 6 this Monday. Everyone's got to come this Monday to the show for season 6. I don't want to be sitting there on Sunday having to rebuild my system. That just ruins my Sundays before Monday. So I don't want to do that.
And back it up before you do the update.
I don't want to do that.
That's always been the advice. Back up before you upgrade. Something I have never, ever followed.
Yeah. So anyway, it'll happen. Thank you for your advice, you guys. I will do it. I promise. And I will get to move on with that. And so come and be sure, everyone. Thank you for coming and being here today, and be sure and come and visit us on Monday. Hewie, thank you for being here. Glad to see you again. And Bob, keep those videos coming. And Ray, enjoy your retirement. You're just going to be a man of leisure, so enjoy that. But we hope to see you back occasionally, and it's always fun having you on the show.
You will, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So, all right. Anyway, until next week, where we'll be doing it all again. Bye now.
So long.
Bye, everybody.